I'm Peter Jennings, and this is ABC News. Just kidding. I just love that intro. Shout out to Colin for creating that for me. Welcome to Player Profiler News Prime Time. I've been real busy all this weekend, and it's all going to tie together to our theme for tonight. Dynasty quarterbacks, risers, fallers, the next big thing. Where am I at as far as being bullish versus a market, bearish versus a market? Recently, this last weekend, I've been putting my house on the market. Just sold it this weekend. I'm in the process of getting another house. And all that to say, there's different market entry points in your life, on your path, where you go to buy a house, right? So as you're going to buy a house, you get into a certain price, your house appreciates, you pay the mortgage against what is left, and you gain some home equity, right? Well, just like in Dynasty, you have opportunity points to get in on a player and sell at different points. Entry point last year, Jayden Daniels. If you were on Jayden Daniels as a rookie, he appreciated greatly. So if you've had Jayden Daniels in Dynasty from rookie drafts last year, if you have Jayden Daniels in your keeper leagues, that has appreciated, right? Jayden Daniels is the number one quarterback for many, or at least number two in the Dynasty market. So you have entry points, exit points, different parts where you're trying to move up and get better. You might start apartment, townhome, starter home, and maybe your destination home. And of course, if you get rich someday, you win Best Ball Mania or any of these fast draft tournaments, you end up being able to afford just a luxury home, right? So all that's to say is you have all these entry points and your season, right? When it comes to packing your house, cleaning it up, getting it ready to move. Moving is terrible, right? But you have all these micro movements that happen, boxing, shipping. I sound like Mrs. Doubtfire, but essentially what happens is you move things to a pod. You get your movers to haul the couch out from your house to the next place. That's what the season is in a lineup league. You're managing. You've acquired, you've sold, and now you're in a spot where you have what you need, but you have to go and make all the moves. So it's nice when you acquire players in the offseason, in your rookie drafts here, in trades, but then you have to go out and actually manage. So right now we're in that stage of where we're buying, we're selling, and then nobody likes to move. But the beauty is moving versus actually managing your fantasy football lineups. You're in a lot better space laying on your couch, pressing buttons, than you are when you actually have to move your actual couch. Now let's talk about quarterbacks versus the market. Jayden Daniels is my number one quarterback in fantasy football. Versus underdog rank, I have him 2 ranks higher. He's QB3 on underdog, goes in round 4, and I am 2 spots higher. Of course, I have Jayden Daniels as my number one quarterback. Just some notes: QB5 last year, 21.5 fantasy points per game, third in best ball points added, third in QBR rating. For rushing, Jayden Daniels, second in carries and red zone carries, second in rushing yards, 891 to Lamar Jackson, 6 rushing touchdowns, 52.4 rushing yards per game. So you get with Jayden Daniels that 52 yards, that's 5 points essentially a game. And then on a touchdown rushed in, let's call it 10 yards for good measure. You go 5 and 7, that's 12 points just off the rip for Jayden Daniels. Understand that Jayden Daniels is a lethal passer. The next player in my ranks is Josh Allen. 17 games played in 4 straight years. Very durable. So that was something cool that I came away with. And looking up, just glossing over the numbers, we all know what Josh Allen is capable of. MVP season last year, second in deep ball attempts, 29th in team pass plays per game. So Josh Allen really makes up for it on the ground and with some passing efficiency. But it really struck me that at 28, going on 29, that Josh Allen has been durable. 17 games, 4 straight seasons. That actually, was kind of eye-popping for me. We look at lighter running backs taking workload. We look at quarterbacks who rush, like they're going to get hurt. What's a player or who is a player who invites contact? It is absolutely Josh Allen. Third in adjusted yards per attempt at 8.1 last year, and second in best ball points added. It's best ball season. Go to Fast Draft, go to Underdog, go and play. Get that $50 deposit match. Use Coach Retzlaff1 code Fast Draft. So much fun. I've been just putting in batch entries, setting my ranks, kind of as I'm talking to you about my quarterback ranks here. And it's just set and forget. And I have a batch and a portfolio of teams. Get into your rookie origins, get into the Flex 4. There's plenty to offer all throughout now, and of course the season. And then in season, there's even in-season tournaments. So the fun really never stops at Fast Draft. Now, speaking of the fun never stopping, Lamar Jackson, QB1 in 2024, number one in our explosive rating, player profiler metric, 120.4. Not really a dangerous red zone threat. It's funny, Lamar Jackson really gets it between the 20s because of Derrick Henry. So we still love, though, 915 rushing yards. Lamar Jackson very close to 1,000 yards rushing, and he's not as lethal in the end zone. Still has it. Very judicious, very smart in how Lamar Jackson handles his body on the field. I know he's gotten sick and people kind of make fun of his immune system, but we love what we have in Lamar Jackson from last year. The rushing, the throwing is lethal, and all without lethal weapons. Shout out Danny Glover and Mel Gibson, right? Great all-time movie. Let's go on to Jalen Hurts. Led QBs in rushing touchdowns last year. Philadelphia, last in team pass attempts per game. Does that tempo rise at all in 2025? Remember, Philly went to the Super Bowl where they ran pass-centric through Jalen Hurts and rushed judiciously from Jalen Hurts. They lost the Super Bowl to the Chiefs. Then last year, it was Barkley Bell Cow season and judicious runs by Jalen Hurts, lower team pass attempts. So we shall see how that goes. Next up, I have Joe Burrow. And with Hurts and Burrow, I'm even with the field. Burrow and Hurts are going round 4 on Underdog as QB 4 and 5. I have them even as quarterbacks 4 and 5. A note on Joe Burrow, he gets Jamar Chase, T. Higgins back. First in quarterback rating, first in passing yards and pass attempts. Can Joe Burrow run pure on passing in 2025? Remember, early career Joe Burrow was a little mix of that run game. You could get 40 yards rushing, end up with a touchdown, so you'd have maybe 10 points out there on a given game for Joe Burrow early. So we're talking 10 points, boosted, part of that ceiling. Now Joe Burrow has to hit ceiling in a 6-point passing touchdown by running pure on those pass numbers. 4-point passing, still valuable. But this year you are paying ceiling price for him. Next up, Baker Mayfield, 41 touchdown passes, was second in 2024. 4,500 passing yards on the dot, ranked third. He got there by passing, but also was 10th, Baker Mayfield, in QB rushing yards. To me, Baker Mayfield is souped up Matthew Stafford. Now he has Mike Evans, Chris Godwin on the forefront, Jalen McMillan, Emeka Egbuka waiting in the wings behind. Plenty of rotational depth. I think it's going to help keep Mike Evans healthy, and it's also going to keep Chris Godwin off injury very healthy. So I really like McMillan and Egbuka to get theirs, but probably better to get them in best ball. The forefront primary weapons you want. I've been drafting a ton of Chris Godwin in best ball drafts. Same for Mike Evans. A neat little fact on Cade Otton. Out of 14 games, 6 of those games for Cade Otton, tight end 11 or better. So you've got a lot of good weeks out there for Cade Otton. And then who can forget the tandem of Bucky Irving, Rachaad White. Next up, Caleb Williams. Let me go to Caleb Williams. I am one spot higher on him than consensus. He's my QB7 versus Underdog's QB8. He goes in round 8 as well at pick 92 on Underdog. Very easy quarterback to stack. He's right there with Luther Burden. And I am bullish on Caleb Williams. It's getting better with Luther Burden and, of course, Colson Loveland added to the squad. DJ Moore, still only 28. That offensive line got rehauled. It's a copycat league. Caleb Williams, 7th in pass attempts, 1st in deep ball attempts, 8th in pace of play, 7th in rushing yards for Caleb Williams. Very sneaky good on that. But his play action and red zone completion percentage, low 50%. So that needs to come up. When Caleb Williams has a clean pocket, he really does thrive. So we want to see Caleb Williams be better, on the fly, modifying things as he goes and playing out of structure where he's got pressure on him. And that is just rookie development. Now, I spoke to Fast Draft prior. I'd be remiss not to have us hear from the Podfather.
Rookie. It's all about rookie talk in fantasy football right now. So why not go use all that knowledge to do something other than a mock draft? Chris Jimino won $8,000 with just 2 teams last year, and each draft took 5 minutes. That's pretty good ROI. You can start doing rookie drafts for money today on Fast Draft. The Origins tournament is live. It is the place to go and monetize your knowledge of rookies and use your favorite Player Profiler host promo code for a $25 deposit match. Now let's go start drafting faster.
Very nice. And time value of money, I've only had to do a handful of live drafts on Fast Draft. You have that batch opportunity to select drafts, set your ranks, set, forget, and come out with a portfolio. Now let's go to Kyler Murray. He is my QB9. Kyler Murray, QB1 in all 6 seasons, 24th in team pass plays per game last year, 9th in pass attempts. So I would love to see this increase, as well as Kyler Murray running the ball more. Only, can you believe this, for Kyler Murray, 4.6 carries per game, while also being 4th in QB rushing at 572. What is wrong with this picture? Kyler Murray could absolutely go way off next year. He's very much a value. I've gotten Kyler Murray 3rd round in a Dynasty startup. You love to see it. Now, next up for Bo Nix. He's going at the 8-9 turn as QB10. I'm 1 spot higher on Bo Nix. I really do like him. 430 rushing yards last year, 7th in air yards, 12th in passing yards. Nix can connect more in 2025. It will only boost his fantasy production. So those air yards, there's more to be had out there. And who will Bo Nix connect with? RJ Harvey underneath, Evan Ingram. There's more support there. Pat Bryant in round 3. Sean Payton doesn't care about your ADP. He just wants to get his guys. I'm going to be one to just trust Sean Payton up to this point. What a turnaround. Definitely applaud him for what happened when he entered with Russell Wilson. And then next is Justin Fields. He's going to make Garrett Wilson have a career year. Wilson caught 101 passes in 2024. Wilson, every single season, has increased his reception output. I would be happy with the 101 passes caught and just some of those other metrics like the receiving yards to go up and touchdowns. Now, with that, Justin Fields, top 5 upside every single year, but also every single week, Justin Fields has that upside. So you love to see it. Brock Purdy is next in round 9, QB12. I'm 1 spot higher than consensus. On track to possibly get a contract. We're hearing $50 million. We'll see if Purdy goes up to $60 million. But there's safety to be had there in that San Fran offense. I love Mac Jones as a great backup. But if Purdy gets all the money, gets the bag, that will even more solidify Brock Purdy as a dynasty quarterback. Brandon Ayuk, it looks like he's on track for week 1. We had Ricky Pearsall come on late last season. George Kittle, I love the stat. 7 straight years, tight end 6 or better for fantasy points per game. How can you not love that for George Kittle this year? Purdy just needs to guide and steer the ship. He can be easily that back-end QB1 in fantasy football. Now, speaking of safety, my next quarterback, Jared Goff. Low-key had an outside shot at MVP last year. Lost Ben Johnson as OC, QB6 in 2024. A 116.6 explosive rating, ranked third at QB. You have 2 first-round talents, Amon-Ra St. Brown, Jahmyr Gibbs. And then the background talent, David Montgomery, Jameson Williams, and Sam Laporta. That's better than a lot of teams' first players and first cast. So give me Jared Goff. I really like him. I am 1 spot higher on consensus. 9-10 turn on underdog. QB 13, he's my QB 12. Next up, Drake Maye. I love Drake Maye. I really like him versus Bo Nix, but I have to respect, and this is in Dynasty, I have to respect Bo Nix above Drake Maye. But in Dynasty, I really do like Drake Maye more than Bo Nix. But I think respectfully, I have to put them because of what great of a situation Sean Payton has put Bo Nix in. But I can't help, Nix has just the better infrastructure, I have to admit. I am team Drake Maye for 2025. Now, it's funny enough, both things can be true. Bo Nix is going to have a better infrastructure than somebody like Drake Maye, but Drake Maye and the New England Patriots are not the old New England Patriots of Mac Jones, Bill Belichick, the boring offense that faded at the end of Tom Brady's tenure with New England into the post-Tom Brady era. We're getting away from that. So take advantage of any kind of bias that's out there and get you some Drake Maye and gobble up all the players on New England. Kyle Williams, Stephon Diggs, take your stabs. And of course, I love Travion Henderson. Take advantage of that helmet sticker bias, the anti-bias against New England as it sits right now. Trevor Lawrence gets reinforced goodness with Travis Hunter across from BTJ. You got coaching support with Liam Cohen. We have had much worse prospects than Trevor Lawrence who have recovered their careers. So give me some Trevor Lawrence in 2025. I'm a huge fan. Shout out to Schultze on the Dynasty Pulse, one of my co-hosts on that show. He loves the Jaguars, and I could not be more thrilled for him. And Jagger May, he is high on Trevor Lawrence. So if you ever hear some of what he has to say and all the fast draft goodness, listen to Jagger May. He knows what he's talking about with Trevor Lawrence. Now going to Patrick Mahomes, I am 12 spots lower. He is my QB 18, round 11, 12, round 7 on underdog. He's QB 6. So I'm talking like 12 QBs lower. I am anti Patrick Mahomes as it sits right now. I can't get into it versus all those other quarterbacks, the rushing upside and the opportunities in those offenses. Mahomes is my biggest faller. You can look at Patrick Mahomes. It's name brand. It just isn't doing it for me in fantasy football. Now, we could go with the narrative of, Patrick Mahomes, they're just going to come out. The Chiefs are just going to come out throwing, and they cannot be stopped in 2025. You'll see. I'd rather see it before while I invest in all the other aforementioned quarterbacks that I've talked about. I really like all the upside that is out there. Do I like the fact that Rashee Rice is going to return? Do I like the ascendance of Xavier Worthy? Do I see a dead cat bounce for Travis Kelce's career where there's maybe more touchdown regression for Travis Kelce in 2025? My touchdown bets would really like it from last year into this year. But I got to peg Patrick Mahomes much lower, and I'm not going to keep buying at the dip, and I'm not going to catch the falling knife. That my last quarterback I'm going to roll with into QB 18. I could go for 32. I could try and go all day, but just need a couple minutes of your time tonight. Dak Prescott. Follow me on this. Biggest loser from the draft, but I still love him, and he's not dead yet. CeeDee Lamb, Jake Ferguson will absolutely eat this year. It'll be heavy on those. And as I was doing these ranks, I said to myself, wait a second, Jake Ferguson really has a great shot this year to be a top 2 option in the Cowboys offense. Of course, we know it's spoken for, CeeDee Lamb, but Jake Ferguson is just sitting there, just a huge winner for the Dallas Cowboys. And what do we like for tight ends in fantasy football? Guys who can be the first or second option on their offense. So I really like Dak Prescott. Take him off the injury from last year. I think we got a great opportunity for some fantasy goodness. And that's what I got for today. Up to 18, we roll down to Dak Prescott. The couple right after Dak Prescott, I'll just name out Michael Penix. I'm higher on him. Matthew Stafford, congrats on the contract. JJ McCarthy, I really love the Vikings offense. And then at QB 22, Jordan Love. QB 23, Bryce Young. So we shall see. Let me know in the comments who you agree with, who you disagree with. Right now, I like the underdog rankings. They're very sharp, but there's some guys that I like more, guys that I like less. The biggest impression, if I could leave you with this, I'm much higher on somebody like Caleb Williams and CJ Stroud. I forgot to mention CJ Stroud. CJ Stroud, huge winner from the NFL draft, boosted with Jayden Higgins, boosted with Jalen Noel, Nico Collins, enhancement on the offensive line, gets Woody Marks. So CJ Stroud, I'm actually 4 spots higher. So CJ Stroud, Caleb Williams are divergent, rising up from Patrick Mahomes, I am 12 spots lower than consensus. Tell me if I'm crazy, if that's too much. I've had a lot of fun tonight, and join me next week. I'm getting used to this solo thing. So have a great evening, and I will see you next week.
From the Podfather to you, I deeply appreciate you tuning in. And many ask, what can I do? What can I do to help support the hosts, the research they do, the production costs? Go to PlayerProfiler.com, Dynasty Deluxe, World Famous Draft Kit, Rankings, DFS Dominator, and of course, Data Analysis. Subscribe to any one of those, and you support all of us and take Player Profiler to the moon.